Hello, welcome back in 2020. Yes, this really is a special year. It's not 2525, but 2020. It sounds just as special. So, today I decided to hook up a Blu-ray drive to the Pinebook. And it's a very compact one. It is the Pioneer XD05. Well, there's not that much to see. It's just a squarish thing. And well, so it's the Pioneer BDR-XD05 TS, and as you can see, it comes only with a USB cable, and it should get enough power from a USB 3 port. And if there's not enough power, they supply this Y cable, so that when you have two USB ports close to each other, you can draw power from another USB port. In the case of the Pinebook, the USB ports are on the left hand and the right hand side. So if I would want to draw power from both the USB A ports, I would need an extension cable. The USB 3 port is actually close to the USB-C port, and in theory it should be able to work from that port. And if we hook it up there, you can hear that it's well, you can see the LED that it's on. Let's just say when we test it with an audio CD, I have a CD that's bringing some childhood memories for me. Perhaps you know the game Turrican from the Commodore 64. The music is composed by Chris Hulsbeck. And here you have the original CD. So I'll put it in. And perhaps you can hear it. It's goes through some sort of boot loop, and apparently it doesn't get enough power from the USB 3 port from the Pinebook, even though the power supply is connected on the USB-C port, so that can't be a problem either. And in this case, I do have a USB-C hub, so I'm going to unplug it from here, and I'm going to put it with just one cable in the USB-C hub. And now you will notice that it actually works. Okay. So I already did some testing, and you can see on the desktop, no, it doesn't show it on the desktop. Well, I thought last time it actually did show up, but apparently this time it doesn't. It's not really a problem. I installed VLC. I tried it with some other media player, but it didn't work. And if I do open disk, and in this case it's an audio CD. Well, it starts playing. Yeah, because of potential copyright issues, I'm muting the sound. And if I click on next, it will actually start playing the next track. Well, the speakers are not really high quality, but on the other hand, I don't think you can expect high quality speakers just from a $200 laptop. So I'm in a way pleased that it does recognize the Blu-ray disc, or sorry, the Blu-ray drive. It can play audio CDs. And then the next step is a DVD. So here I have the movie Dune, and it says widescreen. And well, this is a little rant from me, because in the Netherlands a lot of the DVD releases, they were like really crap. And this is just one example. And when people pirated DVDs, because let's just say in the US or in the UK you would get proper releases, and you would get such crappy releases in the Netherlands, I don't really blame people when they started pirating, because the releases in the Netherlands sometimes were really awful. And I will show it here. Remember, it said widescreen edition. Well, this definitely is not widescreen. This is 4:3. Well, you could argue like, well, it's just the menu, so who cares? Well, if I click on play movie, now you can actually see what they mean by a widescreen release. It's actually still 4:3, but they just added black bars above and below the movie, and they were sort of like assuming that the DVD players were intelligent enough to zoom it to a full screen, or that your television had the option to use zoom modes. But this is just ridiculous. I'll just skip to another scene. And so the audio is also working. Let's see with the subtitles. No subtitles. Well, perhaps it wasn't a Dutch release after all. But still, this was like, in my opinion, a ridiculous release from a picture quality point of view. So I'll just stop this one. And then we're going to move on to a Blu-ray disc. And well, a long time ago the encryption for DVD was hacked, and nowadays, yeah, it's not really that hard to play DVDs. But with Blu-ray, it's a different thing. And when you want to play Blu-rays, you have to add the AACS. So if you start looking for AACS in the package manager, you can see that I installed this one and also the Java support library, and I think this one was already installed by default, but you also need these two to play a Blu-ray drive. So in this case, let's see if it's, yeah, I have a concert from Within Temptation. It's already from quite a long time ago. I think it was their 10th anniversary, and they did a concert with the philharmonic with a philharmonic orchestra. So now I'm going to put it in. And this Blu-ray is already quite old. And let's see. No, it doesn't say anything. I mean, like, when I tested it before, it complained it couldn't read a UDF file system. But that still doesn't stop you from opening the disc with VLC. So we'll choose Blu-ray and we'll click on play. And here you can see that it actually is playing. And we'll skip to the end of this intro. And then we'll click on concert. Yes, this black and white is intentional. They start in black and white. And it's a little bit choppy, so I really don't recommend playing Blu-rays on a Pinebook Pro, but I think it's quite impressive that such a low power machine is still capable of almost playing decently a Blu-ray disc, sorry. So then we'll skip to somewhere else. And then we'll mute it again, because I think YouTube has an algorithm that's looking for copyrighted material. So now you can see that it really has a hard time to play it back. So actually this, at the moment, it is a bit too much for the Pinebook to play Blu-ray. And perhaps when you think that if you can play one Blu-ray disc, that you could play them all, that's not really true. I had to hack a little bit, and you can wonder about the legal implications, but as you saw with the package manager, you can install all those libraries to circumvent AACS. But when you also see that this package does not provide any key or certificate that could be used to decode encrypted copyrighted material. So how is it that I was still able to play a Blu-ray disc? Well, of course, if you start searching on the internet, and I'll put the link to this website in the description, then you can see that you can actually get a key. And so the instructions are quite simple. You have to make a directory, and you can try to get this KDB config file. Now when I tried this command, I noticed that the HTTPS certificate has expired for that website, and then wget refuses to download. So what you can do is actually go to that website, now I think it's still cached for me, but yeah, the first time when you enter or try to enter this website, Firefox will start warning that the certificate has expired, and then you have to go through the extended settings or whatever to still get access, and then you can download the file. Well, I already did that, and once you've downloaded it, you can copy, so I assume it's in the download directory, and then you can copy the file to the newly created directory, and then VLC is able to play a lot of Blu-ray discs, but not the most modern ones, because the key that you're actually getting from that website, it has been revoked, and newer Blu-ray discs, they know that this key has been revoked, or at least it's no longer listed as a valid key, and it will refuse to play. So as an example, I have Game of Thrones Season 8. That's pretty new. And when I put this in, and try to play it back with VLC, yes, then it says no valid processing key found. So that means you're out of luck. Let's just say if in the future it is possible to play back Blu-ray properly, with properly I mean not as choppy as you saw with that Within Temptation concert, then there is still a possibility to sort of make it work, and you can try to rip Blu-rays with Make MKV, And I even read on a website that people said that through Make MKV you can sort of stream, still stream the data of the Blu-ray through to VLC, and that you don't have to rip it. And in that case, that Make MKV is sort of like the proxy. Well, I haven't tested that. I don't want to spend any more time on it because for the time being, yes, I don't think it's really feasible to really play Blu-rays with the Pinebook Pro. So perhaps when in the future, when we get a more powerful Pinebook, that might be interesting to see how far it can get at that point in time. But yeah, at the moment it was just more of a research project and really seeing if it's usable as a consumer. So in this case, perhaps it's not really necessary to buy a external Blu-ray drive unless you really want to write to Blu-ray discs, and this drive goes up to, or at least it's according to the BDR-XL standard, and that means that you can write quad layer disc up to 128 gigabytes. So if you have want to store some backup data on discs, then it can still be interesting to buy a Blu-ray writer. But if you're not really interested in that and you only want to play DVDs, then in that case it could be sufficient just to have an external DVD-ROM drive. So this was the test with the Blu-ray drive, and I hope to do some more tests this year. So I hope to see you again very soon.